This is Darin coming to you live from Costa Rica. Grateful to have you. Have a great day. We're going to talk about, we're going to microdose a video today on growing Iboga, okay? This is a very slow growing plant. So this plant is a shrub. It's from the dogbane family. It grows in the same elevations as coffee, anywhere from 400 meters to 2,500 meters. It grows in Cameroon, in the Congo, in Gabon naturally. There's 160 some species of Iboga, by the way. In Africa, they'll call it the river Iboga, the mountain Iboga, the high plains Iboga. And it grows naturally there. Elephants love it, by the way. Gorillas love it. Pigs love it. And elephants will like eat it, and then, you know, they do their thing on the path that they're on, and then you see these Iboga trees growing on each side of the path there. So anyways, growing it, this plant takes 5 years to become psychoactive. So you need a lot of patience. It likes a good square meter at least, this shrub plant. Now, how big does it get? How long can it live? The problem with it going extinct in Africa is they're yanking this plant out of the ground to give to you. And this is why it's becoming extinct. You don't need to do this. I am the only person I know of in the world that has a grow guide for Iboga. How to harvest it sustainably is something I came up with. I was like, how can we not pick this plant out of the ground ever? The best books on Iboga are written in French, actually, besides Daniel Brett's book, Iboga, the Root of All Healing. And in one of those books, only in French, this explorer in the Congo came across a 70-foot Iboga tree. Okay, so how old was that tree? A couple thousand years old, right? So I think they can live for eternity. So how do we do that? How do we set up for success? Maybe give the plant 6 meters so it can grow 2,000 years. You harvest 16% of the roots of this plant. You get a compass app on your phone, and you plant all your crops in perfectly facing north, and you can use this compass to go around the plant every year and harvest only 16% and mark it on a chart and whatever. This is how you make these plants live forever. I think it's a stronger medicine if the mother plant's living as well. So getting growing with these seedlings, you can use a dried seed. The germination rate is not great. So if you get a dried seed, you might want to scarify it. You want to take 220 sandpaper and sand it down a little bit, and then soak it for 24 hours up to 3 days. Then you put it in soil. Don't use seed trays, my friends. I'm telling you a lot of this out of my own mistakes. So use a big tub. It can be like round like this right here. I use them, I put this much really organic soil in there. You want to put some mixture of sand in there too. The guide is in there. You want to try to copy the same soil as in Africa, right? Arid, draining rainforest floor soil. So I get my seeds from the seed pods from Africa, and you want to get them as soon as they're picked that day. You want them shipped to you, because after 3 weeks, those fruits of the Iboga plant that get sent to me, they can be yellow or orange, and they're about this big. They contain 25 or so seeds, 15 to 25 seeds. And you want them to get a little rotten, broken down. And this stuff smells awful, but you break it open, you clean the seed. You can do the ringing cedar style too and put the seeds in your mouth so it has your DNA and it's good for you. But then you can put about 150 seeds this deep into that bowl, and you might get 80%, you might get 20%. It all depends on where you're getting your seeds from and whatever. And then they'll get so big, they can grow in this for 6 months to a year because they grow so slow. If you have problems with any insects, I recommend neem oil. And I just recommend using straight purified water on these. Then you go to your bags, and you put one in a bag after about a year. You want to use 50% shade in a greenhouse, preferably. And you let them grow in there 1 to 2 years. Very slow process again. Then you put them out in your perfect elevation. You want to find an elevation where this plant source came from. You also want to know the Iboga content of the plant that you're getting it from. And I'll tell you why this is so important. What if your Iboga is one of the type of strains that's not so potent, and you spend 5 years in planting and everything like that, and then you get this plant that's like not as potent as you would like for the reasons for doing ceremonies and whatever. So make very sure you're getting your seeds sourced. It's important. It's not easy dealing with the Iboga farmers in Cameroon and this and that. I've experienced some things that made me grow my own Iboga. The reason why I'm trying to save it is because me, like many other facilitators in the world, we're getting unsatisfactory Iboga sent to us from Africa. So it's being depleted. They're mixing Voacanga with it, everything. It's important for us to grow this and maintain this plant for humanity, because I think it can literally save the world. But that's my grow tips. I'm always open to talk to people, to talk to you about seeds of growing or whatever. I know people growing in cold climates in Europe, in Canada, in the States, in greenhouses, okay? So we can talk about all that as well. I encourage anybody who's got a green thumb to grow this plant. It needs to be saved. Much love to you. Take care.